Hey guys, we're back for the last two chapters of The Ink Drinker. Are you guys excited? Are you trembling, waiting to find out what happens? Okay, here we go. Chapter 5, Vampire. I was so frightened I couldn't move. My vocal cords even froze. I was unable to scream. What are you doing here, kid? The vampire had a soft, hissing voice. I needed a clever reply, and fast. I wanted to visit my grandmother's grave. Guess I'm in the wrong place. Your grandmother is buried in this cemetery? Well, no, I must have come to the wrong cemetery, too. He started growling. I was completely startled, especially by the sharp and threatening tongue that moved between his lips. It had the texture of an ink blotter. You followed me from the bookstore, kid. Why? There was no point in lying anymore. I was sure that he could read my thoughts. You drank a book with a straw, I answered. I saw you. Now I understand. You're a foolish kid. Do you know who I am? A vampire? Indeed. You are lucky that after 5 centuries of fine dining on blood, I became allergic to the stuff. Otherwise, I did not dare to think about what he meant. Why do you drink ink, sir? I asked. I've suffered from liver problems for 72 years. Ink is the only food I can digest without difficulty. And believe it or not, it is quite nutritious. Really? But then, why not just buy bottles full of ink? You could keep a refrigerator stocked with them right here in this crypt. It would be a lot easier. Not possible, kid. Bottled ink is as bland as salt-free food. But ink that is aged on paper, well, it's the ultimate gourmet dish. Simply sublime. I frowned. You don't believe me. Oh, no, I do. I started to back away. No, you don't believe me. Never mind. Like it or not, you too will develop a taste for ink. Tomorrow, you will understand. He sprang like the devil out of his casket and smiled. His dazzling teeth looked like razor-sharp pen nibs. And he was coming closer and closer. I felt a dark veil descending slowly upon me. Chapter 6. Yum! Delicious. Vampires don't exist. No one drinks a glass of blood for breakfast, and people sure don't suck ink with a straw. I hate these freaking nightmares. They make me jittery. I had fallen asleep in my hiding spot. The bookstore was about to close. 2 customers were still lingering in the store. A strong itch on my arm woke me up, and as I tried to get rid of it, I realized that it was coming from deep under my skin. To make sure I had been dreaming, I browsed through a few books. Everything was in order. All the books were jam-packed with words. I returned to my hiding spot and felt overwhelmed by an indescribable mix of drowsiness and happiness. I heard my dad double-lock the store door. Alone at last. The surrounding silence and the darkness were exhilarating. Dad hadn't realized that I was still inside, and I was sure that once he did, he would search for me. But I had better things to do than go home to bed. The books, all neatly lined up on the shelves, were calling me. Come, come and open us. It was the very first time I had craved a book. Come, come and browse through us. I just happened to have a straw in my pocket. Lucky me! The first mouthful was electrifying. However strange it may seem, I was eating sentences and crunching paragraphs. The books tasted like brownies. Yum! Delicious. But even more astounding, the sensations on my tongue varied from word to word, from paragraph to paragraph. I wasn't simply absorbing ink. I was absorbing pure and total adventure. On a wild sea, 2 ships waged a ruthless battle. Crash! With swords between their teeth, the pirates smiled ferociously. I was not reading. I was experiencing all the action firsthand. I was the captain of the king's ship, and I was fighting for my life. Suddenly, I found myself facing a devil with an eye patch and a wooden leg. It was the notorious Captain Flint. We lunged at each other with our swords. I was exhausted. My arms felt like jelly. In a last-ditch effort, I rushed towards my enemy. He dodged my attack, and I went overboard. As I sucked the first words of the second paragraph, the lights were suddenly turned on. Dad was there. I swallowed wrong, and the words got stuck. "Time for bed, little rascal," he said. He didn't understand what I was doing with the book. "You were supposed to read some books, not chew them." When he noticed the straw and the ink that was dripping down my chin, his anger subsided. "Did a dog bite you?" "Not exactly." He must have feared I had rabies. I reassured him, claiming the ink was just chocolate, and he believed me. Still, he wasn't totally wrong. I had indeed been bitten, but not by a dog. When I had passed out in the crypt, the vampire has used his nib-like teeth to carve his name onto my arm. Draculink. I was now one of his kind. I had become an ink drinker, and for the first time in my life, I relished being the son of a bookstore owner. The end. Were you guys surprised by the ending? Did you like the book? Well, if you like that one, you'll like the next 3.